Good morning. I think we shall start our session today. So first of all, I would like to apologize for not able to attend the previous meeting because something pop up. So I would like to apologize that I didn't able to host the last sessions. So today we talk about managing transitions. As you could see yesterday, there was an announcement saying that the MCO will extend for another 2 weeks. But just bear in mind, what you heard 2 weeks is just only 2 weeks. But anything could happen. It might extend, or we would not know. So that's why please get ready for anything. I think that if I were you, I will do my adjustment until the end of May would be the safest. So do some changes and also do some adjustment for your work, so that because of the deferment of the CMO, and Humanology would like to continue and also contribute to help everybody. So that I would appreciate that maybe you can propose at the site or in the Telegram. Please propose any topic that you would like to learn or you would like to know about the managing transition. For example, there's one of my expert already suggested that after COVID-19, one of the skill that all the employees should have is to be the corporate entrepreneur. Actually, the word corporate entrepreneur, Tan Sri Amrin and I myself, we have written a book on this matter. Previously, when we talk about corporate entrepreneur, and we are just focusing on the government side. But it seems that now, regardless government or the private sector, so corporate entrepreneurship becomes one of the core elements that everybody should know. So then after that, for today's topic is very, very interesting. So because now you have already learned how to use a project management, how to use a chatbot, then how do you be aware of what are the transition it would be. So today we are looking at the transition process themselves, how you should manage it. Thank you, Donna, for the for some of the comments and also some of the friends who say good morning. So, and the most important is that selamat berpuasa. And also I also would follow some of the practice. So I would what is that called? I would start to fast also, but sometimes usually during the third day or the fourth day of the fasting, it is very normal that I would get fever. So I hope this year would not have the same scenario again. So without further delay, let me introduce Mr. Edwin, the expert today. He started his career as a bank officer before moving to Technical Training Center and began his professional career in the oil and gas industry in 2007. With the Amazon company, with the American company, J. Mcdermott, Asia Pacific Private Limited, for Sarawak Shell Bhd Project, a human resource manager responsible national expatriates employees. Upon completion of the project, he received 1 year one of the top aviation oil and gas service provider to assist in developing the policies and procedure, as well as the startup of the operation in Miri. He decided to join oil and gas service company in Malaysia 2011 as a group human resource manager, managing human capital in the East and West Malaysia operation in offshore oil and gas construction, topside maintenance, engineering, trading, as well as supporting their overall corporate activities. And just for everybody information, Mr. Edwin is currently in Sarawak. So what I'm trying to tell you is that with this COVID, we have to thank COVID, because in the sense of they shortened the time from, especially for those organizations previously we planned to go for the a few years of the transition to go for digital transformation, but because of this COVID, so it shortened the time that for us to go at once for it. But you have to bear in mind. So what are the transition that we would go through is we'll go to a technology time, but our lifestyle would be in the year of 1960 plus, 1970 plus. All right. So with this, I will pass to Mr. Edwin for the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dato. That's my brief instructions just now. And just to do some housekeeping, can you hear me clearly? If you can, just type at the chat box. Yes. Okay, yes. I saw a lot. Yes, right. So now it's about 200 people joining the programs, and just a little bit of introductions about me. Right. My name is Edwin or Edwin Engbat Gara. You can call me Edwin, you can call me Engbat, but don't call me Gara. That's my father's name. I help the people and the company to learn new skills, discover the talents, and transform the system that may change people's life. Right? I know some of you are excited about this program. Right? So today I'm going to share with you, right? What I'm going to share with you the effective ways of managing transitions to make our life better, to achieve it more successful, happy, and more freedom, right? So let's start with the things that I'm going to share with you. So what I'm going to share with you is mentions in the agenda. There are 5 important things that I'm going to share with you. First is 5 transition fundamentals, 3 critical transition models, right? The importance at values, the 3 importance at values, 3 opportunities, and the most important thing is that the 3 ways of transition journey. You probably already know that managing transition is a critical step to advance our transformation journey. But do you know that it is a rigorous process, stressful, difficult, if we don't do it right from the beginning. So right. So I'm not going to mention about COVID so much on the COVID-19 anymore, because my previous friends and colleagues has been mentioned about it. And personally, I have experienced 2 crises before this. This is the 3rd experience in my life, right? The first crisis was in 1997. That was the what we call the Asian financial crisis. After that is 2009. So because of that, so I lost 3 jobs in the previous one, right? But that it doesn't mean when we lost 3 jobs due to the system, doesn't mean we are failed, right? The most important, how we can bounce back, and how can most of us in the corporate sector can get employment. That means the employability, right? For example, here, right, it's just a very simple transitions. Right? If you can see, right, the way we communicate, right, the tools that we use is change, right, from the old methods to the new methods. But just because of one transition is kill another 7 services. For example, the way we communicate, the mail services which changed, especially post Malaysia was affected very much. They are not affected because of the another courier service. That because of technology, it's been changed, right? We use emails, we use scan, we use WhatsApp, right? Courier service is also affected, but courier service is back up because of the online business. Camera has been changed, right? So we are using the phone camera, no longer using the old camera, right? The videography industry will change, right? The photo and album, and not only that, sometimes, right? People now they watch movie, so it is affect the cinema industry, affect the cinema industry in the world today, right? But the things that, right, change, there are 2 sides of change. First is the technical side of change. And the second one, the most difficult one, is that the human side of change, right? So because of that, many of us, we don't like it, but do we have a choice to do that, right? We don't have the choice to change it, right? So these are the things happen, right, in our life, right? So we have to bear with it, right? So this is the situation that most of us experiencing it, and maybe some of you never experienced it before. But the things that
I think his connection has some issue. Let me find out what is happening. I'm so sorry about that. I'm trying to call him now. Please, I'm so sorry.
Ayah boleh bercakap dengan dia. Say hi.
Maybe while waiting for everybody, can you please on your mic to introduce yourself, or at least as a networking session for everybody while waiting?
Hi, my name is Muhammad Azad.
Why not you on your what is that, camera as well, so that we can see you?
My name is Saiful Husni from Malacca.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Azad from Cebu, Sarawak.
Yeah, my name is Saiful Husni from Malacca.
I'm Dahlia from Sarawak.
Hi, I'm Faisal from Cebu, Sarawak.
Wow, there's quite a lot from Sarawak today, yeah? Welcome in.
Yeah.
This is Franchise from Sriaman, Sarawak.
Hello, I'm
Welcome all the
Hazli from
Sarawak people.
Pananinda.
Hello, I'm Antoine from KL.
Hi, this is
Hello.
Mani from KL.
Hello, I'm Hazli from KL.
Hi, Azad.
Hi, Hilmi from KL.
Hi, I'm Lim from KL, Cheras. Selamat berpuasa to all Muslim friends.
Thank you, Lim.
Your line is dropping.
Hi, I'm Asha from Malacca.
Okay, never mind. You can just on it, but then after that, so you can continue. Because I think you enter the webinars first. Then after that, you can start that later on. Okay, no problem. Sorry. Never mind. You join the webinar first. So from there, only you start with the, because you drop, I think about 10 to 15 minutes, about 10 minutes, I think. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Can you please join back the webinar with the link, please? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. I didn't make my, oh my God. Okay, sorry. I just managed to call Mr. Edwin. He didn't realize his line was dropped. So I asked him to join back the webinar first. I'm so sorry for the technical inconvenience. But thank you very much for joining, and also selamat berpuasa. And thank you for introduction. I hope others start to introduce. So at least today is the first day of the puasa, so it's a good chance for us to test our patience also. I'm so sorry for it.
To test the endurance actually.
Yeah, just to share a little bit while waiting for Mr. Edwin to come in. This is something I learned from my PhD supervisor, Professor Malik Badri. He's a fellow of UIAM, and he's a Muslim Islam psychologist. He's my PhD supervisor. He's told me, he wrote the book on the dilemma of Islam, Muslim psychology, and also he also translated a few books in the prophet philosophy on contribution to medical, contribution to the art, and also others. What is a learning session I've got from him? He shared with me, puasa or fasting is actually divided into 3 levels. A lot of people thought that fasting is just only, how do I say that? Fasting just only stop food, control the drink. It's not. That is surface. It's only for the human being to see. But it's more deeper. It talk about is the how we ourselves actually to go on to control our speech, our action. So at the same time, the most important is that for us to contemplate. For us to contemplate, what does it mean? What I learned from Professor Malik Badri, he said that, I think Mr. Edwin already come back. So, but Min, can you please make Mr. Edwin to be the presenter or something like that? So while occupying to share some of the knowledge that I learned from Professor Malik Badri, he mentioned that if a person, normal person, when I see a beautiful scenery, let's say an ocean, so I would say, wow, what a beautiful ocean, what a beautiful mountain. That's it, finish. Whereas for a Muslim or for a good human being, the first thing when we see whatever scenario is it, we have to appreciate first. We need to thank, okay, that, wow, thank you for the creator for creating such a beautiful, wonderful scenery for us to see. And also, Puasa month is the very, very good time for us to contemplate. Later, I will search, because I did an interview to Professor Malik Badri. He's currently 87 years old, okay, but still, but he's no longer in Malaysia, because he's also the founder of the University of Madinah University, University of Al-Fat in Sudan. He's a Sudanese. He's back to Sudan, and also even though he's old age, he's still contributing to the body of knowledge by writing a lot of books in the area of about prophet. So after the session, what I would do is, I believe that most of you already should already join our Telegram. I will get his video to talk about what is Hari Raya, the real definition according to the Al-Quran, the real meaning of Hari Raya, and also the real meaning of fasting. So I feel that is something I benefit a lot when I start to understand more, and also I hope everybody is the practice is not only during the fasting month, but also after fasting month is our daily practice. Fasting month is just only as a period to train us actually. After fasting month, then we should continue with the good behavior, forgive each other, I always remember one of the good statement that taught by one of my good friend. Okay, so she told me, Mr. Edwin is back. I think. Okay, while waiting for him. So I think he shared with me one statement because he is one of the top officer in one of the organization. Because of office politics, he always get bombasted. And he told me that, I want to, for me, I want to forgive another of my friend. The reason why, because after, if she pass away anytime, so she doesn't want to waste time, waste energy, and it's also so tiring to go to look for another person to forgive or to get forgiveness. So that's why take a chance, whoever that you feel sorry. So take a chance, not only to forgive, most important to forget. Forgive and forget about it. But remember, take it as a lesson for us to grow. I think Mr. Edwin is ready, so I don't want to take so much of your time. If I want to continue talking, I can talk until 5 o'clock this evening. So I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. I pass back to Mr. Edwin. So, Mr. Edwin, if you see my phone ring,
can you hear me now? I'm very sorry because I'm from my home in Miri here. Okay, can you hear me? Right? Okay, yes, Faisal, Afiq, Azwan. Right? Everybody can hear me, right? Okay, now we continue, right? So we'll continue, right? So here I'm going to share with you what a management guru says, right? So one of these is Dick Walls. He said that the workplace is always in flux, always in transitions, always in turmoil. It always has been and it will be. So this is the reality that we are facing in our country now. It's not only in our country but also in all over the world, right? That happened to us, right? Can you see my screen now?
Face to face meeting
is talking, right?
Can you hear me?
Hello, Norashima, yeah? After the two, right? Okay, I'm going back to the previous one, right? Because
I will propose, Mr. Edwin, you off your camera so that it will be more smooth. It will be smoother.
Oh, just off the camera. Okay. Is it okay now?
Now it's better.
Now it's better. Okay. Right.
At least your line is not cracking down.
Okay. So once the transition happens, right, emotionally we are affected by the situation. We are depression, we are blaming, we are denial, we are grief until we achieve the next level of emotional, right? Everybody is affected, right, by the situation, right? So let me go to the next one, right? The next question is, where are we, right? So are we still thinking of that's me, that's my problem, right? Or we are now moving to the next one, we explore. But the big question is, what if I'm told I lost my job today, right? This situation may happen to us, right? So we are in a shock. This cannot be true. Some of us may be thinking that this some truth, but cannot be me. And some may think that yes, it's true, but I'm very angry. Why me? So this is a situation that are facing every one of us, right? So because of that, right? So what the management guru says, management guru says the workplace is always in flux, always in transition, always in turmoil, it's always and been, and it will be. So it may not stop here, it may continue later, right? But the thing is that what is the impact to the business in people, right? So my previous colleague has mentioned there's a lot of impacts on this, but here I'm going to share some of it, right? Not all, right? The global economy and turbulence in the market, change in the business directions and tactical plan, right? Change the way we do things, change the value of workplace. The most important is how it changed the value of workplace. And the job security and the future job are very difficult to predict. What will happen to us, what happened to me, what happened to my employee, what happened to our colleagues, right? So these are the situation that we are facing now, right? So this can be the problem for all of us, right? Because now, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
So the audio is okay now.
Yes, okay.
Okay, right. So the next one, the remote working infrastructure has been, right, a big question. So if you need to work from home, what happened to us now? Do we have infrastructure? Do the company provide those kind of things? So if the company don't provide those kind of things, so these are the things that we need to do, right? So now my slide also gonna move, right? So every one of us are in a big questions now. So what are the things we are going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the productivity? Are we going to focus on the people, which is a big chunk of it? It can be the process, it can be the operations, or it can be a customer data, or it can be a customer itself, or sometimes can be safety, it can be the logistic. The thing is, the road to the transition is difficult, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible for us to move forward, transit from here, and shift from here to the new one. But the thing is that we keep moving, keep working. What is the next step? Can you make it happen? Right? So can we make it happen? In reality is that only 5% of people make things happen. Another 15% of people watch things happen. And the thing is the 80% or the big chunk of it don't know what happened. This is the situation. But first, we need to take a stock. Take a stock means here we accept it. It's happened to me, it happened to all of us, and happened to all country, and not only that happened to the whole world. Once we accept it, right? So what we need to do, right? We need to audit. We need to evaluate, right? We need to evaluate. Only then we can manage and take charge, right? From there, we know what to do, right? So when we know what to do, then we move forward to the next level, right? So the thing is that when we go to the next level, right? When we take stock, when we assess the situations, the thing is that we ask ourselves, what are the things I have no control? What are the things I can influence? What are the things I can control? So in a way, we are trying to change the ABC to AOC. Some of you may ask, what is ABC? In Malaysia, ABC is popular, known as air batu campur, right? But here, ABC means, right, awareness, right, before what? No, ABC here is area beyond control. What are the area beyond control? We try to change the area beyond control to the area of control. That is the AOC. But to do that, we need key principles, right? So applying the right key fundamentals, it is very important. That is the principle that we need to do first, because strong foundations will last longer. So with that, I'm bringing you to the 5 transition fundamentals. The 5 transition fundamentals, what we call is the EDWIN. So we go to the first one, That is the letter N, right? Letter N means the needs to be identified. What are the needs to be identified? What are the change that we are going to do? What are the change that we need to start first? From there, we assess what is the opportunity and threat. What is the processes that we are going to do first? We evaluate, and after that, we set a goal, right? We set a goal and we build a plan. That is a very, very crucial for us to start to identify what is the needs that we need to do, right? So the next one, what we call the letter I start with inspire the implementations. What is the inspire in implementations here, right? The innovations, the new ideas, right? Not only that, we may start, before we do the implementation, we need to simplify the process first, right? Make it smaller. Why we need to make it smaller? Because it's easy to do it in a smaller change or smaller transition. For example, right? In this case, right, we try to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. What is the builders of tomorrow? For example, Lego. I think most of us know Lego, right? They have undergone a transformation journey that needs to connect with a deeper sense of purpose, right? So with that, Lego also done some series of transformation processes. They called it North Star. So the North Star has been linking and guiding Lego to a powerful purpose, right? Which is their powerful purpose is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow, right? Expanding global is not about increasing the sales, but giving millions of children to access to Lego building bricks. They do the investment in innovation. It's not about developing a new products, but enabling more children to experience the joy of learning to play. Not surprisingly, right? This imperative bring a deeper sense of purpose, bring a higher motivating to a Lego people. That is the inspire the implementation. And the third one, the crucial one is that when we do change, we must win the heart and the mind of the management and the people, because they are the heart of an organization, right? The management and the people, because as a human being, we have our feeling, right? So when we do that, we must take care of the management. So the ability to communicate and convince the people is very, very important in this case. So how we are going to convince the management and also to make the people understand the change or the transition itself, right? So the next one is the what I call the drive, right? Drive means the drive the business transformation journey, right? So how to drive the transformation journey? We have to have a leader, right? To have a leader who can help us. We need a driver, we need a mover of an organization, right? Drive the business transformation journey is not easy, because leading is not about just to lead, right? As a leader, we have a visions, we have a clear roadmap with milestones and hold the people accountability for the result. In other words, you must be a directive. But in order to capture the heart and the minds of people, you need to be inclusive. Inclusive leadership is a critical to put people first, right? For example, right, US Golden State Warrior basketball team, right? They have been not winning any what called any game since 1975. So because of that, they bring in, right, the head coach by the name of Steve Kerr, right? Steve Kerr came in 2014 as the head coach. He has a clear vision. What his vision is to reach out and engage an environment of open debate and solicited suggestions. He always asks, what do I am missing? So in a way, what Ticker did was, right, he provided a space for people. He find the bright spot. He find the space for ideas, right? Because being a leader, you cannot be expert for everything. But the most important, how we connect, how we connecting the dots, right? How to connect the people, how to work with the people, right? Just because of that, right? The team, the basketball team, win the games. But the interesting thing is that, right, that change is not because of Sticker. That is the idea from his assistant by the name of Nick Oran. He's 20-year-old man, right? Suggests it. So how we as a leader can bring these kind of things to our organization? Use the people, right? Capitalize the ideas and innovations. With this, I bring you to the next level, right? The next level, what we call the E. The E stands for energize the people, right? How to energize the people? Because we are human beings, and the employee also human being. The top managements are human being, and the customers also human being. So what we need to do, we take care for emotion, understand the people, communicate to the people, right? And not only that, everyone has their own expertise, even at the lower level, right? Why not we capitalize their expertise? Because they know in the operations, they know in details of the processes, right? They know their people as well, right? So that is the 5 fundamentals of transition, right? Therefore, I suggest a simple and so shorter, right, process to manage the transitions. Now I'm bringing you to the 3-step models, right? This 3-step model, what we call unphrasing, change, and rephrasing, right? What are the 3-step model? The 3-step model, the first model, what we call unphrasing, this is the most critical model, which is, I took it from the Kurt Lewin's model of change. When the first level is our critical state. This is the crisis, we have to accept it. The new demands has happened here. This is where you need some innovations. Then from there, we move to the next one, what we call changing. Changing, that means change is occur. It can be drastic or it can be shift, it can be slowly change, right? But during this time, it can be uncertainty, people are confused, there are some conflicts in between, right? Until we next move to the next level, what we call rephrasing. A very simple 3 processes only, which is the unphrasing, changing, and rephrasing, right? So what are they? What we need to do for the 3? The first level, we recognize the needs for change, right? We accept it, we recognize that we need to change. And after that, we determine what needs to be changed. It can be processes, it can be the structures, right? It can be the way we do things, right? And the third one, ensure strong support from management. This way, we need to convince the management to get us to support the change, right? Once we get the strong support from the management, then we can manage to understand and the doubts of concern, right? Who are concerned about this? The people, right? From there, we encourage replacement of old behavior to a new behavior, right? It's not that easy to do this, right? But we have no choice. What choice do we have, right? We need to do that. And the next level, what we call change, that we plan for change, right? We need a structure to change it, implement the change, and help the employee to learn a new concept and accept the points of view, right? Because they need to understand. If they don't understand how they are going to change, right? Once they accept it, only they can, gradually they may change, right? Then change start to reinforce. They start to integrate the people together and develop and sustain it. But towards the end, right, if we can do it properly, right, we do it successfully, then everyone will celebrate it because that is a success, right? We need to recognize that is a success. So with that, now I'm going to share with you the 3 important values of transitions, right? The first, the unlearned skills. We have to understand that, right? For example, webinar is not a natural way of training in the past, but now it's become the way of communication, the way of impart the knowledge to the people, right? As Alvin Toffler says, illiterates of the future are not who can read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So we need to recognize that values. And the thing is that the next value is the time, right? Time and tide wait for no man, right? It is free, it's priceless, but once it's gone, we cannot take it, right? As I mentioned here, to realize the value of 1 year, ask the student who failed the exam. To realize the value of 1 second, ask the 100-meter athlete, right? How important is the time? And the next one, the next very important value is that the opportunity, right? This is maybe the only opportunity. Opportunity will not come every time, right? So how we are going to capitalize that opportunity, right? Because every change, there is always a chance, right? As the Chinese says, right, it's Wei Qi. It means the crisis. When there's a crisis, there's a danger, but at the same time, it is an opportunity. Just because of that, I'm sharing with you the 3 opportunities available that we can do during the transition process. What they are? They are, the first one is realign. The second one, how we can rebuild, right? And the third one, how we can energize the people, right? Give some motivations to the people, right? The first one, what to realign, right? What to realign. So we are realign we may need to realign the, what we call the structure, or it can be a culture. Maybe previously the culture of doing things is different. Now we may need to realign it. Or if the structure is not that dynamic, we cannot work from home previously because we have to wear tie, we have to, very formal. But now, right, we can just use t-shirt, can work from home, right? That maybe needs to be changed, right? Secondly, it maybe can be a responsible and roles. The role may be changed because the system is being changed, right? The responsibility can be expanded, or can be multi-skills now, right? But many ways we can do that, right? And not only that, we may need to align the people and sensitivity, right? We have to understand our people. They are very sensitive, right? They maybe work from home. They maybe just, don't use the formal things to work from home, right? These are the things we need to be sensitive because they are our people. They contribute to the organization. And not only that, another thing that we need to realign is the teams involved. The team may be different now, right? Maybe we need to capitalize the expertise. The goal may be changed, right? So by doing this, we can reset, realign in that process. And the next one, the number 2, rebuild, right? When we rebuild, right, rebuild the trust, right? Because when we build trust, we start from the team, right? Once we have the team, we connect it and we move to the performance, right? So these are the things we need to rebuild. And the third one, re-energize, right? Motivate the people, to inspire them, and not only inspire them, right? How to inspire them to learn or unlearn. That is to get the ability, the skill, and the knowledge. ASK is not us. ASK here, the ability, the skills, and knowledge that we need to energize them, right? To bring them to a new normal, right? How to start? First, communicate, and communicate. That is very, very crucial. It's important. And the most important also, we must be being honest to make people understand you must be honest. Not only honest, right, but show you are honest also, right? Physically and virtually, develop monitoring system and infrastructure, focus small group online training, coaching, right? So maybe after COVID, right, maybe you need to work physically, but in a small group, right? And not only that, maybe it can be a virtual learning, just like what we are doing now, right? But for a big company with various locations, there's a lot of benefits. For example, the travel expenditure can be reduced, the cost of accommodation, transport cost, the allowance can be reduced of mobility, and also it can do anywhere, anytime, right? So these are the benefit for those who are having a very wide structure in various organizations. But the most important thing is one more thing. What is the one more thing? One more thing is that being human, right? As Humanology mentioned here, being human is human being. So we are as human, we are being human, right? So but being human means, right, we put the people first as a strategic imperative, right? What are the things that, so I'm bringing you the 3 transition journey here, most important transition journey. First, you need to go all in, right? You need to go all in, right? To go all in, because sometimes in transformation journey, there are too many transformation is nothing more than just headcount cutting exercise, let off under the guise of transformation. In competitions, right, it may take a painful decisions to downsize organization, just like you have to lose a weight and run a marathon. Right? Losing weight alone not assure you to cross the finishing line with the winning time. To win, you need to go all in. Cutting costs, you need to think of the initiative that will enable you to win the medium terms, and the initiative to drive growth and action that fundamentally change the way the company operates, and very importantly, the investments to develop the leadership and talent within the organization. Right, that's the first one. Right. So the second one, is enable the people with capability. Right. So how to enable the people with the capability? Right. It's very fast. Right. Enable the people with the capability is, right, so giving tools and skills to people. To enable the people with capability, they need to succeed during the situations and beyond, right? For example, I'm using triathlon. Yeah, different people good at different things. Some people good at remarkably good at to get the bike. Some people good at running, right? Real athletes know that each legs, the swim, the bike, the run requires different capability, different tools, different skills, and different techniques. Likewise, when we transform our organization, right? When we transform our organization, we need to be sure we are giving our people the right skills, the right tools they need along the way. Another example, Pronas. Pronas is a global software company recognizing a need for transfer from building software as a product to building software as a service. First, they invested in the tools to enable the employees to monitor the usage of features as well as customer satisfactions with the new service. They also invested in skills development so that the employees are able to resolve customer service problems on the spot. And very importantly, they will reinforce the investment rather than overwhelmed by the transportation. Petronas employees actually feel energized and empowered by their new role. And the third one, right? The third one is instill the culture of learning. I want to bring you to the experience done by the Microsoft. When Satya Nadella became the CEO of Microsoft in February 2004, he embarked the ambitious transformation journey to prepare the company to compete in mobile first, cloud first world. Change the strategy, the organization, and very important, the culture of living and learning culture. shift from the fixed mindset to a smartest in the room to a global mindset. The role is to learn, listen, and bring the best of the people. Not only that, Microsoft already shift in culture. This is the clear evidence of Microsoft putting the people first. So with that, to achieve all this, right, we need a discipline. Right? I assure you, the acquisitions of discipline is for the key to your dreams, aspirations, and transition. What is discipline? Discipline is the bridge between the thought and accomplishment, the glue that binds the inspirations. Failure occurs each time we fail to think today. Taking action today, care, strive, climb, learn, or just keeping going today. If you write 10 letters and you only write 3 letters, you are behind 7 letters today. Discipline is the master key. It unlocks the door to your journey for happiness, sophistication, high self-esteem, and high accomplishments, and accompanying the feeling of pride, satisfactions, and also a success. Right. So with that, this is a summary. So I've been sharing with you the 5 transition journey, the 3 critical transition models, the important values, the 3 opportunity, and 3 ways of the transition journey. Now, the power is in your hand. For a kite to fly, it must go against the wind, because you are the driver, you are the commander, you are the future of your company. You must have the will to win, the desire to succeed, and the urge to reach your full potential. So with that, I end my session today. Thank you. Now you can open for a question. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can.
Yeah. Any questions?
So we would like to open to the floor for the Q&A sessions.
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Edwin. You've talked just now about the emotions that people bring into the work environment. Sometimes we have those who are highly emotional and those who sort of like bite the bullet and just get on with it. How would you strike a balance in this area, especially now with all these changes we are going through, and human beings would have a tendency to be overly emotional or overly sensationalize things?
Okay, thank you for questions. Who's asking the question just now?
Hi, I'm Ernest. I just asked the question.
Okay, thank you, Ernest. Right. So the emotional states, right? Because everybody is in emotional state. Because the most important thing, through my personal experience, right, how we balance in between the emotionals and also sometimes between the company what I call things, right? What we need to do between the importance of a company and also the people, right? So what I can suggest is that, right, first, right, communications. Make a clear and clarity of communication is very, very important, because people may understand the situation. because it happened to me when I was what I call asked to leave. Because the thing is that during the time I was to retrench about 200 people, and towards the end, the MD called me, right? And I almost opened the door, and he said, "Hey, don't forget, friend, don't forget to prepare for yourself." Right? So at that time, as I mentioned earlier, what happened is me. But the thing is that we have to communicate, but we need to communicate to make it clear to the people we have no choice. Right? Because some people will lost their job, some people will suffer, right? But what choice do we have? But before that, we have to make them understand. Right? For example, you can do town hall meeting for everyone before the layoff, right? And then maybe can what we can do, train them how to attend an interview, how to prepare a CV, right? So do some, maybe some, even a small farewell, not need big celebration, right? So that means we recognize, and we can teach them how to attend an interview, and even we can train them, and some maybe, right, instead of terminate them. So what we can do, maybe train them as a service provider on a freelance basis. They're still working for the company, right? So am I answering your question, Mr. Anas?
Not really, because what I'm talking about is the way forward when people have that people still come in with that emotional imbalance, or or as I like to put it, they are the prophets of doom in our organization. They are always the no can do's and that sort of thing. How do we deal with that? Because we in management have many issues on our hands, and we sometimes we just we would just tell people, just get on with it, don't just get on and get the job done, but then we sometimes try to shut out that emotional aspect of things. So that's where I want to ask you, how would you deal with it?
Right. So what I suggest is that, right, to deal with the emotions, because sometimes the individual emotions is beyond your control. This is what we call the ABC just now, right? But as a management, sometimes, right, we have to make unpopular decisions, right? We have no choice but have to make unpopular decisions. As long as that we have done our part, right? We are honest with the people, right? We don't hide anything, right? If the company really can ask them to stay, right? So we have to communicate to them. This I mentioned. We cannot control their emotion, but what we can do is that we try to calm down the situation, make them understand if the company have to do that, right? So there's another questions by what ASK? ASK is the ability, the skills and knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw the one question just now, asking about what is SK. SK is ability, skills, and knowledge.
Some put
Right,
it
any
as
more questions?
attitude, skill, and knowledge.
What's that?
Correct.
Yes,
Attitude,
it can be attitude, but I did not cover the attitude, right? But because to change attitude, yes, we can change it, but it's not easy to change, right? We want to change, but if the person don't want to change the attitude, there's nothing we can do, right? For example, as the quote mentions that, right, we can take the hose to the sea if the hose ask the hose to drink the water, but if the hose cannot drink the water, I don't want to drink the water, there is no choice. But what we can do is that we guide them, right, to drink the water, because we to make them to understand to drink the water, right?
Whereas to answer, just to add on to give some of the inputs. Number one, when we talk about they are not emotionally attached to the organization, of course we have to identify what are the issue, because it's impossible to please everybody in the organization. I totally agree with Donna's suggestion. Sometimes when they go back to work after COVID, so you might have the issue saying that some of the staff would be too free. So as a manager, you have to find a task so that they to occupy them time. When we occupy them time, so their mind will be occupied and they will not be so negative. Remember the concept of herd effect, meaning that when there is one person become negative, the energy or the ambience will influence one to another. Meaning that, for example, I feel that, okay, let's say company retrenched 10%. Okay, so everyone talk about, would I be retrenched or not? So all this would create more emotional to the people. So as a manager, you have to give them confidence. That's number one. Number two, you have to occupy them with their time. Number three, talk about changing of the attitudes. I would recommend you all to look into one. There are a few theories in the change attitude and behavior actually. For example, the model that I can think of now from my hand, yeah, which is trans-theoretical model that I'm familiar with. The second one is called Kotler 8-step change model. Third one, you can look at the Levin change model. Another one very popular is McKinsey 7S model and ADKAR model, Bridge Transition model, Kubler-Ross 5-stage model, and also, of course, the most the one I like to use is a combination of all with the concept of nudges. So for those who like to know more about nudges, there is one book. It's called Nudge or Fudge. It's written together with the former Director General of Malaysia Productivity Corporation, Dato' Razali, and also the BI team, the Behavioral Insight team from that. So you can read that book. From there, you will see how irrational human behavior. You really, in order for you to manage transition change well, you really have to understand human behavior. Because by understanding and mastering human behavior, how do they act, how do they think, how do they behave, how do they be affected by people around them, and how do you make them to sustain the behavior is the most important. Okay, so without making to sustain, the negativity will spread very fast. It could be as fast as COVID-19 virus, because they will add on with their own concept to enhance the negativity and enhance the negative emotion in the organization. If you do not manage well, I would say that when they go back to work, the negative emotion will overrule whatever plan you want to do. It is very, very dangerous. And also, you always have to bear in mind, now is a time for you to undergo surgery. COVID is like a surgery process, meaning that this is what I learned from Hong Kong. Yeah, I believe that last year at the beginning of the year, you understand that Hong Kong undergo a lot of strike, and also people are walking to the street. And what we did a research on their behavior, why they're willing to walk out to the stage. They talk about 5 demands cannot be missed one, and of that. So they mentioned that in order to have change is go through a difficult time, and you have to bleed. You will bleed. So that's why this is a time for you to bleed in the organization for you to sustain. So be brave to face all the bleed that would happen in the organization. I hope I can give I add on some of the points that to help to answer the question.
Right, thank you, Dato', for that. And also, I want to add on, right? People negative not because sometimes because they are negative. People negative because they don't understand. That's why we have to communicate with them to make them understand. And once they understand, even we can bring them together.
Correct.
Bring them together as part of the team, and they maybe can be the biggest contributor for the change. Because if you don't bring them, they don't understand.
I just want to share one experience, which is sometimes regardless how good you do, how transparent, how well you communicate it well, in front of you, they will say, okay, no problem. We're willing to do that. We're willing to take a pay leave. We are willing to cut the salary. Later at your back, this is human behavior. At your back, they can do wonders. Okay, this is my personal experience. That's why that all those experience trigger me to look into the area of attitude and behavior, and also how to manage the interesting attitude and behavior.
Can I just add something? Mr. Edwin, I was very impressed that you used the analogy of a triathlon. I, for one, have always said some of the best people to hire in any organization are triathletes, because for the simple reason they have, the first thing is that they have learned to, firstly, they have the discipline. Secondly, because of, they have the work-life balance, plus learning to manage on 3 platforms, which is the swimming, the cycling, and the running. And if you throw in stretching and anything else into that, it is there. And the last thing which I always say about why triathletes are good is because they have the ability to change, and the willingness to change. And with that, I think it comes down to, when we are looking, I think as we move into this new era under the post-COVID, we are looking more at a individual's mindset over skill set. And that is something also I really emphasize on, because I believe at the end of the day, you can have all the skills, but if you don't have the mindset, it's just, you're going to have, it's going to be a negative inertia in the organization.
Yes, yes. I agree with you, Anas, right? Because to change people mindset is not that easy. But different people, different expertise, different skills, and as a management, how we are going to capitalize that skill and capability, right? So they may contribute because that is part of their expertise, because they are very passionate about it, right? Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Anas.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anas, for the very nice sharing. Thank you so much.
Right, any more questions?
So we will continue the session until 11:45. So another 2 minutes. So anybody would like to share anything, or you can on your speaker mic now. So you can speak anything or anything.
Maybe while waiting for the people to ask questions, Dato', and we just to add, the most important part of the transition, actually, I call it 2CAL, right? The formula is 2CAL. The first C is clarity of purpose, right? Once we have a very clear purpose and very clear goal to achieve, and people will understand it. The second one is maybe taking actions. A lot of people, they want change, but they never take any actions, right? It must be a very a big actions, right? Taking action is very, very important, because 90% of change is because of the actions, right? Because fast action will be fast results, right? And the third one is follow through with the leaderships. So in a way, leadership is very important here. Somebody can be trust, somebody we can rely on, right? Not somebody who are what called dispute behavior, So we need this kind of people, right? Any more questions? Thank you, Zainuddin. Thank you, Ira. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Zara. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you everybody for joining. Please enter our what is it called Humanology community so that you will get more information from time to time.
Thank you very much. It was a very good session.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Izzat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwin. It was very
Thank
great
you.
input.
Thank you. Thank you. My apology for the technical glitch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin. Great sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Saiful.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a very insightful session today.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Nordin. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Rizal.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin. It's a good session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwin. It's a nice discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. You can contact Humanology. You can email me if you need some info. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Monita.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edwin, for your info.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwin, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
selamat
Stay
berpuasa
safe.
everybody.
Stay home. Oke, selamat berpuasa kepada yang Muslim. Selamat Ramadan. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin. Thank you, Dato'.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato'. Thank you, Humanology. Thank you, CBMRA.
Thanks,
Thank you, Dr.
Jacqueline.
Vincent. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Vincent. So we shall officially end the session. Thank you very much for everybody and selamat berpuasa and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato'. Thank you, Dr. Vincent. Thank you, Humanology. Thank you, everyone. Right? Have a safe at home. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Salina. Thank you, Siti. Thank you, Chang. Thank you, Salina. Thank you, Sunta.